Good morning. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Stewart. I'm the Senior Vice President for Home and Community Division. And welcome to the 2023 Mission and Values Awards Recognition Ceremony for PeaceHealth's Home and Community Services Division.
And I'm Susan Landford, and I serve as the Mission Services Director for the Columbia Network and as the interim mission director for all of you. It's my privilege to be your host during this event, and welcome. Thank you for joining. We want to have a lovely, vibrant involvement all throughout these 30 minutes. So as it's already started in the chat window, please feel free to send your encouraging and affirming comments into the chat, to fill the screen with the emojis that celebrate folks as they're being honored today. And I also want to extend a special welcome to any of our sisters who have joined us, certainly to the family and friends and colleagues of everyone being honored, and to every one of you, our PeaceHealth caregivers and providers in home and community who have made time to be here today. Welcome, everyone. We want to prepare now for a time of reflection on our heritage, and we begin with a land acknowledgement being read today by Gurpreet Dillon, our System Director for Hospice. Please give your focus to this acknowledgement and welcome, Gurpreet.
Heritage Week provides us a space to acknowledge our PeaceHealth heritage given by people, founding congregation, and by place. The land, the places where we work and serve, and the people who came before us and served the traditional stewards of the land. We acknowledge with humility the places throughout Pacific Northwest where we serve are on ancestral and occupied lands by many indigenous peoples who call these lands home. We pause and pay respect to their elders and the community members, past and present, to let the land with its rich resources, which enabled indigenous tribes to flourish and steward the land according to their traditional cultures. We pay respect to the persistence of indigenous community members to honor their heritage, and we commit to stand together as we steward the land for all our descendants. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurpreet. And to continue our tradition, we reflect on our heritage with thoughts written by Sister Charlotte Davenport, and today read for us by Candace Frawley, Palliative Care Chaplain at St. Joseph Hospital. Let me just ask that we all pause and take a deep breath and continue to lend our focus to this reflection. Welcome, Candace.
As we celebrate Heritage Day 2023, I pause to reflect on our journey at PeaceHealth and as a sister of St. Joseph of Peace. I am struck by the challenges faced in responding to the needs of those around us for healing, support, and finding new pathways forward in spite of so many changes. I find myself reflecting on the history of PeaceHealth and its beginnings in those first few months in Bellingham, Washington. Those days were filled with the challenges of coming to a new place, meeting new people, working with others to build a place for caring, and weathering a storm that took down the chimney, but luckily not the roof of the brand new building that had yet to open. The early sisters wrote of being very scared and wanting to leave if they lived through that storm. Others who had experienced previous winters encouraged them to stay and move forward with the ministry. These sisters were on a journey to build a hospital desperately needed to ensure those who were sick or injured had a space to heal. While I suspect most of these people would have been taken care of at home if there were family around, they had come west to make their way, hoping to earn enough to bring family later. During the COVID-19 pandemic, developing new ways of stopping the spread of infection and then finding supplies and systems to sustain the needed treatment of very sick patients thrust all of us in healthcare on a journey of exploration to create a safe and healing environment. None of these pandemic challenges were solo walks. They were met with the care and support of others on the journey. From those on your care team, to the vendors who worked hard to meet requests for special masks, to people who dropped off food and treats to sustain tired caregivers. Compared to providing care, During the pandemic, the early days of PeaceHealth's ministry may not seem as challenging, though they were likely daunting challenges for the times. It took many hands and creativity to build that first 2-story building in Bellingham. The local foundry made pipes to create the beds. Local craftsmen helped to build walls and chimneys, and local vendors helped find sources for the needed supplies. Whether in 1892 or today, resiliency, creativity, and the willingness to risk trying something different are needed abilities. In reflecting on our PeaceHealth values, I found myself thinking of them as verbs: respecting, stewarding, collaborating, and acting with social justice. These values are a way of living, of considering how we need to support one another, both those whom we touch in our day-to-day ministry and those we are called to invite on the journey with us. As we recognize those co-workers, caregivers who have identified as representing our values, we are acknowledging that their actions are giving expression to these values and bringing them to life. This PeaceHealth journey is an invitation to create a way of being together, a place of belonging for both new and longtime caregivers. As we work in collaboration, trusting, listening, reaching out, inquiring, and being present, we grow in strength. Together, we are a powerful witness of the legacy of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace.
Thank you, Candace. Again, I'm Brian Stewart. I have the honor of leading our Home and Community Services division within PeaceHealth. This is a very special time for us within PeaceHealth as caregivers, in which we get to recognize and highlight some of the incredible work that some of our PeaceHealth caregivers, that many of our PeaceHealth, that all of our PeaceHealth caregivers are doing through PeaceHealth. But we get to especially recognize a few and highlight some of their incredible work. The mission and heritage celebration is so incredibly important to us because it serves as a yearly reminder of the living embodiment of our ongoing ministry. Year over year, we get to recognize caregivers that have accepted the baton from our founders to carry on the PeaceHealth mission. Now, I'm delighted to welcome Brandon Mayo, our 2022 Mission and Values Award co-recipient for collaboration, who will introduce us to our division's nominees and Mission and Value Awards. Welcome, Brandon.
Thanks, Brian. We are so excited. We have 22 nominees that we're celebrating. So feel free to use the emojis like you're already doing. I love it. Alicia Morrison for providing incredible support throughout the successful Whatcom Home Health Survey. Alicia Swartzendruber for finding needed services in the most challenging of patient circumstances and in timely ways too. Annette Harvey for hard work, kindness, and compassion to help our patients receive the care they deserve. Elizabeth Coy and Kelly Wright for acting as a team to provide compassionate care to dying patients and their families to prepare them for the dying process and the grief journey. Eva Gordon for not giving up and helping a patient receive needed medical attention. Without such advocacy, this patient would likely have readmitted to the hospital or worse, would not have received the care they needed. Vanessa Lavery for beautiful care for a patient whose family sent thanks. Jackie Guthrie for hard work, kindness, and compassion to help our patients receive the care they deserve. Jennifer Hawkins for being diligent in all aspects of patient care with your compassionate, caring work. Carissa Atkinson for obtaining her notary appointment so she could help patients complete advance directives at home. Kim Koskarat for being the glue that holds us together and keeps us compliant with our documentation, consents, and Medicare notices. Leslie Price for going above and beyond in her care for patients as a strong advocate for their health and emotional needs. Linda Schill for kindness and calmness, integrity, leadership, character, and teamwork, and for being the mama nurse everyone knows we can lean on. Mary Nelson for sitting with a dying patient to ensure they were not alone. Matthew Weiner for hard work, kindness, and compassion to help our patients receive the care they deserve. Nancy Smith for beautiful care for a patient whose family sent thanks. Rhonda Bryan for being an expert for our referral sources and a partner to our patients by providing information and ensuring a seamless transition onto our services. Sandra Ferris for beautiful care for a patient whose family sent thanks. Cher Castro for bringing knowledge and evidence-based practices into your healing approach to meet the individual needs of anyone grieving. Samar Mander for gentle care given to a hospice patient filled with anxiousness. Susan Merrill for being the go-to person for anything needed in the office or field, for always being upbeat and looking for positive outcomes or compromises in difficult situations. Susan Larson for living our mission every day in helping our most vulnerable patients who are homebound and in facilities. Svetlana Zakharov for being a very talented wound care nurse, finding the best products for each patient and also watching the bottom line. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for bringing our mission to life.
Congratulations indeed. Thank you, Brandon, and thank you to all of these wonderful folks. It's my privilege now to introduce Jody Newcomer, who will announce our first Mission and Values Award recipient, and who is also this recipient's supervisor. Welcome, Jody. Jody, you're on mute.
Oh, I just tried to hit that button and didn't. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tricia Griffin is the first of two 2023 Mission and Values Awards for the value of respect. Tricia is a registered nurse with the Hospice Community Program in the Home and Community Northwest Network. She embodies respect through accompaniment of suffering patients and families in tender, caring, and skillful and effective ways. Tricia works as an after-hours nurse. She routinely goes above and beyond the high expectations of her position. She alleviates the pain and suffering not only of patients, but also of their families. Nights are long, lonely, and scary when you or someone you love is on the journey of dying. Accompaniment only occurs from a place of humility, compassion, and respect. Tricia provides all of this and more. Recently, Tricia was called by the family of a very young patient. The patient and the parents, anguishing over the inevitable loss of a child, while also caring for their other young children, were in dire need of her help. Her patient was imminently dying and suffering a great deal of unrelieved symptoms. Tricia jumped into action, spent the remainder of her shift at the home of this family. She stayed at the patient's bedside, administering medications and implementing interventions. Within a few hours of Tricia's departure, the child died. The nurse responding to the death notification expected to meet hysteria, anger, and fear from the parents. However, they could only speak of how comfortable and peaceful their child was during their final moments. And during their passing, they described Tricia's care and the time she spent with them as healing. Accompaniment occurs from a place of humility and compassion and respect. Tricia provides respect for individual life and healing, restoration to wholeness of body, mind, spirit, and relationships. Thank you for living our value of respect. Congratulations.
Thank you. It is such an honor to receive this award today. I
Become a little closer.
come a little closer. It's a privilege to be able to help relieve pain and suffering for patients and families in the most difficult time in their life. I just feel nothing but honor and gratitude to be able to do the work that I do today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Now I want to welcome Nikki Pagnano, who will announce our second recipient for the value of respect and is also this recipient's supervisor. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you. Lise Rolfe is the second recipient of the 2023 Mission and Values Award for Respect. Lise, registered nurse with Home Care in Oregon Network Home and Community, shows respect and compassion for patients on and off the job. As a hospice nurse, her patients' families often send kudos for her care of their loved ones. This year, Lise was on her way to work when she encountered a pileup of semi-trucks and cars on I-5 near Halsey, Oregon. It was a huge accident with several injuries. Lise stopped, pulled over, and got out to help. She ran from car to car, doing everything she could to assist those injured in the accident until first responders arrived. Tragically, there was one death at the scene of the accident. Members of the public were attempting to take photos and videos of this person. Lise found a tarp, returned quickly with it, and used it to protect and honor his dignity. She asked onlookers to please stop trying to record. Lise brought compassion and courage to this horrific situation, respecting the injured and those who died in the accident. Lise went above and beyond to help those in our community who needed it most and has been a blessing for so many, one nominator said. She even came to work afterward and cared for patients who needed her skill and compassion in this extremely difficult time in their lives. She is an amazing nurse, and I am so proud to call her my coworker. This example demonstrates Lisa's respect for each individual life in their healing and restoration to wholeness of body, mind, spirit, and relationships. Thank you, Lisa, for living our value of respect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please share a few words with us.
Thank you. I feel so honored and grateful to be the recipient of the Mission and Values Award for Respect. It humbles me to be nominated and awarded for my actions on that cold, foggy day. That morning started like every other morning for me. I get up, get ready, get my 7-year-old up, ready, and off to school, and then head out down I-5 to work. Little did I know that 30 minutes into the drive, the fog would become so thick that you could not see but a few car lengths ahead. But for the grace of God, I was able to get myself stopped in enough time and before I hit anyone or anything. Without even thinking, my instincts kicked in and I was out of my car running from car to car. The thing that got me the most was the amount of people that were standing around taking pictures and videos of this deceased man. It broke my heart to think that his family would have to see it. As medical professionals and in my role in hospice, we see death and deceased often. I'm just so grateful to God for putting me in the right place at the right time to give that gentleman the respect and dignity I knew he deserved. Again, thank you.
Lise, here you are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lise. Those were beautiful words. Thank you, Nikki. Let me now introduce Delene Doney, the 2022 Mission and Values Award recipient for the value of collaboration, who will announce our next recipient, and Leslie Clements, this recipient's supervisor, who is also coming on camera.
Claudia Fisher is the 2023 Mission and Value Award recipient for the value of collaboration. Claudia, registered nurse and program coordinator for inpatient palliative care at PeaceHealth St. Joseph, serves as the glue for the whole inpatient palliative care team. Her leaders describe her as a delight. Patients and their families praise her care, and caregivers new to palliative care look to her as a teacher and mentor. She is an amazing teacher, says Leslie Clements, Claudia's supervisor. In addition to our teams, she teaches palliative care to nurse resident classes. She also gives them a chance to vent and ask questions about the cases that can cause moral distress for new nurses. That is such a powerful burnout prevention tool. Claudia is known for saying just the right thing at the right moment with patients and their families. One dementia patient's wife said what an amazing job Claudia had done caring for her husband, alleviating her guilt and reminding her of all she had done for him. Claudia once reminded an end-stage cancer patient what a beautiful weaving they had created, also reminding them that they were more than their illness. Claudia also has a gift for seeing the big picture. She works to improve processes which better serve patients and caregivers at PeaceHealth St. Joseph, and she collaborates regularly in the Whatcom County palliative care community. Juggling the responsibilities of program coordinator work, never-ending clinical work, and team maintenance, Claudia maintains grace and good humor, says Leslie. Most importantly, she keeps the humanity front and center in our work. This isn't glitzy stuff, but it is incredibly skillful. Claudia's commitment to her work illustrates the atmosphere she creates where collaboration with others takes place to improve personal and community health. Thank you, Claudia, for living our value of collaboration. Congratulations.
Claudia, I'm so proud of you, and it's so well deserved. The gifts you bring to your team, to the hospital, to your community, to your patients and your family every single day are unmatched. Very well deserved award. I'm just so proud of you, and I'm glad you have a moment to be recognized for all your amazing skills. Would you like to say a few words?
I would. Yeah, it's a huge honor. Thank you so much. And I just want to say I've been thinking about what that word means, collaboration, and it's definitely not about one person. It's about relationships. It's about a team effort. And I'm so proud to be part of this great team and all the amazing work that we do together. So thank you all for collaborating with me.
Beautifully said, Claudia. Thank you so much. Oh, goodness. Let's go all the way to Ketchikan and let me introduce Melissa Gosnell, our 2022 recipient for social justice, who will now announce our next recipients, and Leslie Clement, who is manager, and Lynette Paulson, supervisor for these two caregivers. Welcome, everyone.
Julie Wheaton and Nancy Agard Swiderick are the 2023 Mission and Values Award recipients for the value of social justice. At PeaceHealth Southwest, Julie, palliative care nurse practitioner, and Nancy, palliative care social worker, invest in collaboration with community partners both near and far. This example of how they served a vulnerable patient and her Indigenous community came in two separate nominations. The patient who transferred to PeaceHealth Southwest from the Yakima Valley for a higher level of care than was available in her area was nearing her end of life. Julie and Nancy worked together to remove barriers as well as to honor and support the patient's treasured traditions as a Wapato Native American. The patient's family wanted to take her home to honor their end-of-life rites and rituals, explained Lynette Paulson, Julie and Nancy's supervisor. Julie called every hospice in the Yakima Valley to find one that could do a compassionate withdrawal of care and support the patient at her home on the reservation. Facing barrier after barrier, Nancy continued to fight for a solution. Nancy focused on the patient's family who could not stay in Vancouver because of additional family commitments. Over 3 days, she coordinated a plan with departments across PeaceHealth Southwest, as well as an ambulance company, to provide the needed care. Finally, Nancy was able to collaborate with the patient's primary care provider near her home to meet the patient's needs and goals of care. Without a doubt, Julie and Nancy's advocacy for this patient demonstrated their commitment to treat each person in a loving and caring way, said Lynette. Julie and Nancy's care of this patient clearly demonstrates the value of social justice and their deep commitment to improve the lives of the poor, the vulnerable, and others in need by identifying and assisting in the removal of barriers to health equity. Thank you, Julie and Nancy, for living our value of social justice. Congratulations.
Julie and Nancy, I remember this case so well, and I remember everyone in the hospital just telling us it wasn't possible. We had to figure out how to get an intubated man home 3 hours away to be on his tribal lands with his family. And I just the days and days and hours it took the two of you to do that, and you just never stopped fighting. And the gift, it's a lot to like help someone with their life, but what you did for this individual is you saved his soul in a way that was meaningful for him and his tribe. So I'm so proud of you guys. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes. We want to thank you for the honor of this recognition. I want to start by thanking Nancy, who is always inspiring me to keep doing the hard things despite the barriers that we come across. In palliative care, it's our goal to walk alongside patients and their loved ones as they navigate life and death in the face of chronic and serious illness. None of this would have been possible without first this family allowing us to be part of their journey. We also wish to recognize the multitude of people who helped to make what at times felt highly improbable possible.
And I want to start by recognizing my colleague Julie, who inspired all of us to push beyond the barriers that we anticipated and helped to develop the plan of action. Our team, who helped make contact with the community of providers and resources needed to make this happen. Our leadership team, who supported us in taking the time to dedicate to this effort. The care management team, who helped access funding for the family to stay overnight here to participate in goals of care discussions. The team in ICU, who stabilized and optimized this patient for a long and successful journey home. The PeaceHealth Foundation, who helped cover the cost of the long distance transportation. The AMR crew, who committed to safely and skillfully ferrying her home. The hospice team that had faith in the plan and cared for her and her family in her final days. And finally, her primary care provider, who made himself available to ensure she received excellent and compassionate care at the end of her life, regardless of time or day.
At the end of the week, when she had left our care and was en route home with family by her side, we were awestruck by the community, near and far, that came together to honor this woman and her family's wishes, and the willingness of so many to say yes. We are both grateful and humbled to have taken part in this amazing journey. The AMR supervisors said it best: after so many years of suffering and loss during the COVID-19 pandemic, the feelings of helplessness that come with that, it was an incredible journey to take action towards the best possible outcome for this patient and her family. Thank you.
Thank you both so very much. And congratulations again. For our final recipient, Katie Gilbert is coming on camera as this recipient supervisor, and it's my honor to read this story. Paul Keller is our 2023 recipient for the value of stewardship. Paul, physical therapist for home health in the Oregon network, combined his current role with his past experience in finance to turn around the solvency of the Oregon network home health program. He helped take it from a significant negative margin to achieving financial solvency while ensuring the program continues to provide great patient care. Review of 2021 revenue showed that while Oregon Home Health was trending in the right direction with quality scores, it was losing money with each patient visit. The day after learning this, Paul reached out to ask questions and offer support. Since then, Paul has worked towards modifying how home health is provided to align with the patient-driven groupings model reimbursement structure of Medicare and other episodic payers. Paul volunteered to share his solvency presentation with our home health teams across PeaceHealth. He also formed a system-wide solvency committee with a multidisciplinary group of frontline caregivers and other members of the home health team. The engagement and ideas from that group have been integral in new plans to achieve financial solvency in all branches and PeaceHealth Home Health, addressing the delicate balance of mission and margin. Over the past few months, we had some positive margins while still maintaining excellent quality outcome scores, one nominator said. Paul brings his whole self to work, including all his skills and expertise. I am grateful for his generosity in sharing his business skills and his boldness to step forward and address such significant process improvement work, close quote. Paul is an exemplary model of stewardship of resources in care for the environment, finances, time, talents, and passion needed to serve our mission. Thank you, Paul, for living our value of stewardship. Congratulations. And Katie, thank you for helping to honor him too. Hoping to hear from you, Paul.
Absolutely. So, Paul, these are for you.
Thank you very much.
Your reward. And thank you for your amazing work. I just personally want to say that your willingness to step up has motivated so many other people in the teams across our service line to step up and share their talents to the benefit of all. And we so appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie. Well, first of all, thank you very much. I'm absolutely honored for this award. In the 14 years I've been with PeaceHealth, the home health department, I've seen what an amazing, tremendous impact we have on the patients and the community we serve. So when I heard that we were operating in our financial loss, I really wanted to take part and see what I could do to help change that around. I'm very thankful to my supervisors, Katie Gilbert and Lexi Deer, who gave me the opportunity to present my ideas. Thankful for the amazing coworkers I have on the Solvency Task Team. And I'm most thankful for all the incredible staff, for the clinicians and home health staff, for without them to implement these changes, nothing would change. And so one thing I'm very proud of during all this process for our campaign for solvency is that during this time, one of the things we highlighted all the training sessions is for the staff to, we educated how to go about solvency, but always first and foremost, to use their clinical judgment to do what's right for the patient and best for their care. So that for me is the true essence of good stewardship, and that's what I'm working for. So thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Thank you again, Paul.
Thank you very much, Katie.
Congratulations, Paul. Those were beautiful words as well. Thank you, Katie. And we are wrapping up, but you guys hang on for just a moment. We want to congratulate again our nominees and our recipients, Tricia and Lise, Claudia, Nancy and Julie, and Paul. Your stories and your words today have inspired us. You remind us all why we do this work together and why we are all needed to carry on the healing mission entrusted to us. As we conclude this ceremony, we also have a treasured PeaceHealth ritual which connects our caregivers to their callings and to the mission we serve, blessing of the hands. So 2 minutes following this conclusion, Chaplain Jennifer McDonald will provide a virtual blessing of the hands for anyone interested. You'll join by using a new meeting link that she is placing in the chat box. Brian, back to you.
Thank you, Susan. So as we close out this year's celebration, I want to take a moment to thank you, Susan, for your being our host and your being our champion in this work. So thank you for that. And thank you to each and every caregiver that made this celebration possible. Also want to thank all of you that joined us today. Over 150 participants joined us to celebrate our heritage in our 2023 Mission and Value Awards. Remember, together we carry on our healing mission. Thank you all so very much.